What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Independent Living. This is where we talk with some of the dopest independent artists that are out there. And today, this cat actually wasn't on my radar. He reached out to me, and then I went to check out the music, and I was like, man, this cat is talented. This banger after banger after banger. So I was like, I got to have him on and discuss his story. But today we got my guy, Trane, in the building. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's poppin', Dame, man? Thank you for having me, man. That's a blessing, man. Being able to do what I do and staying independent, I definitely want that for, even the generations coming after us. So that's why we rocking,
Yeah. So he made some great R&B music, but you hear the accent, so you know he's not American. So we got to dive into the origin story of where this cat is from. So let people know where you're from and kind of what some of the early music you were listening to kind of get your influences from.
Well, basically, I was born in Africa in a country called Gabon. So It's close to Congo and Cameroon. But I grew up in France. Like, I left there when I was 3 years old. I grew up in France, and I grew up listening to a lot of French music, obviously, a lot of African music, because on my mama's side, because she came with us, she actually kind of escaped. That was a crazy situation with my father and all that. But when she arrived in France, she had a scholarship and all that, and she was still very in touch with African culture. So that's how we grew up with that, African music and all that. And I fell in love with American culture because my cousin came from Gabon as well when we was in France, because we kind of like opened the door for a lot of people that wanted to come from Gabon study. I would be like, let's say someone got a place in France, now he's the plug. Whoever got a scholarship, like they come in, they slip for a little bit there. So my cousin was with us for a long time, for like a couple of months, and he just put me on to the vibe, like 50 Cent, Tupac, Biggie. I was like, damn, what is that? I knew of rap, but only French rap. I didn't really know of American rap, so he put me onto that. Michael, all those, like Kanye, especially Kanye West, because even for Tupac and all that, I just loved the energy, and I could relate to what it's giving me without even knowing what they were really saying. But once he played Kanye West, that's when I was like, wow, like, this is different. I don't know what he's talking about, man. I hear Jesus. I hear... I'm like, okay, and that's when I started learning English as well.
Okay. Was that initial Kanye? Was that like College Dropout Kanye?
It Dropout, yeah. One of my favorite albums of all time. When I heard that, like, I had the chills. Because I was like, what? Like, I feel it. But he's not talking about the stuff that I usually hear on rap records. So it's deeper. So yeah, I definitely wanted to know the meaning of the lyrics. And that's when I started really diving into it. And yeah, I worked on my first project. Then it blew up in the U.S. around 2018. So that was when I moved here.
Bro, we got to bring it back. I know the story wasn't just like, oh, I listened to Kanye, then I made a project. And
that was a long...
Because you said you started off as a rapper, right? You started off as a rapper?
Yeah, I used to rap. Yeah, because I was inspired by Kanye, So I was really into lyrics. And I think that's what helps me a lot now as an R&B artist. Why I got the pen is because I was so into rap. To the point where, man, some of my people, they could tell you when I started rapping, I kind of sounded like Kendrick because I love Kendrick Lamar. So I was just trying to be on his level. So influenced by that. But yeah, people didn't really connect with it because, what's not for you is not for you. I was good, but it's like, you got to be great,
Were you rapping and singing at the same time? Could you sing at the time that you could rap? Did you know you have vocals?
I've always had the ability to sing, but I didn't really recognize it because, like I said, I was with a lot of, people from the trenches. So I don't really be singing around them. I only sing in my shower or when I'm in my feelings, texting a little shorty or whatever. But yeah, I was always able to sing. But man, my mom was the one who told me okay, you should go for singing because she didn't really vibe with the rap stuff.
Yeah,
and I need my mom's validation, man. I'm not, because I grew up we grew up with me and my brothers, we grew up with my mom. Like she's our inspiration. She's our hero. So if she's
She's the
not
rock.
feeling something, like she has our best interest. She's not
Yeah.
trying to hate or whatever. So I knew, okay, yeah, nah. Cause she knew I could sing. She was like, man, I hear you sing all the time, Michael, all that. That's
Yeah.
what you got to show them. Yeah. And then what'd you say? Go ahead.
So my theory is I think it's very beneficial for you to have rap experience as a singer because I'm a huge R&B head, but I'm still stuck in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I feel like over time the lyrics of R&B got less imaginative, that they got less creative. However, if you're a rapper that goes into R&B, I think you take that wordsmith, that wordplay and you infuse it into R&B, and I think that you will stand out today because a lot of the lyrics today are just very blunt, very just direct. So if you do have some of the wordplay, some of the metaphors of that
Yeah.
rappers still use and put that in R&B, I think that gives us a feel of the 90s, of early 2000s, because it was more, like I said, more creative, in my opinion.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you on that. And also, I feel like a rap is associated with, poetry. So I was, digging a lot of, poetry and just poems in general, whether it's like Japanese poetry that I really love, French, of course, even just books, whether it's like sci-fi and all of that. I was diving into all that, and I feel like that's what's missing in not just R&B, a lot of genres these days, where it's like the lyrics are too basic. And I'm not even talking about the message. The message could be basic, but the way you saying it, you can kind of like tweak it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when did you start getting some traction? What was like the first moment where you're like, okay, I think I can do this?
Like I said, when my mom recognized my voice, that, I should go for singing, I started doing cover videos. So I
Okay.
started doing covers of Trey Songz, The Weeknd, Drake, and people loved it way more. I was
Which,
starting to get like hundreds of thousands of views out of nowhere.
which platform were you using to do that? All of them or
YouTube first. I was
YouTube?
only on YouTube and Facebook, on SoundCloud too, but yeah, that was mostly YouTube because I was adding visuals to it.
Yeah. I continue to tell people like if you really can sing, there should be no problem with you creating content because covers, if you can flip a well-known song in a way that's different, that's still dope, that's still gonna turn a lot of people's heads and you're gonna get a lot of likes, a lot of followers just by doing covers. That's how I
That's
interview. Are you familiar with Will Gittins? I interviewed him on this platform before.
Oh yeah.
So he still does well. I don't know if he's done any recently, but he built his following, doing a lot of covers and his own original music too.
Hmm.
But if you can sing, that's still kind of a cheat code that works to this day.
Hell yeah. That's hell of a cheat code. If you can sing, man, flip some of these records. That's what Jacquees been doing. He's killing this shit. You know. Yeah.
So moms gave you the confidence, but when did you start? So and then the covers gave you some numbers. When did you start putting out your own music that started resonating with people?
Okay, so that part, basically, I was getting way more traction with the covers and stuff. So I kind
Mhm.
of had fans.
Yeah.
There was fans of my covers and all that. And some of them kind of like, it was kind of like a challenge to me because I was born in a soccer, like football family. We
Mhm.
played at like, I used to play a lot. My cousin, he did a career in football as well. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He plays in Saudi now, but like he used to play for Barcelona, all of that. So I got like, yeah, I got that competitive mindset. So when he said like, there's a fan who messaged me, I think that was on Facebook or something like, yeah, man, I love your covers, but can you make your own songs? I was like, damn. So that's what these people thinking, that I'm just stealing people's vibes because I can't write my own shit. Yeah. So that's when I started really like tapping into just lyrics and a lot of the rap records that I used to play and listen to, I was now like dissecting them. How does Tupac, you know, write his lyrics? for it to for people to connect with it. So I was studying. Like I'm a student. Anything I do, I'm gonna study it. You know.
And then, so what was the first original song that did well?
I mean, the one that really like got me on the map is Late Night Drive, obviously. But before that, I was getting like a couple, hundred of thousands on my first singles. Cause I already like whatever they doing now with the content stuff, I was already doing that back in the day. Where it was like, okay, like you know how you gotta have a rollout. Okay, this is the first single, second one, then the project is gonna be like this and that. So I dropped three singles before Late Night Drive. So it kind of like set it up. It helped me set up because I knew Late Night Drive was the one, but I didn't want to drop it without having, the people. So yeah, my first song that was like gaining traction was Right There. Right There. I remember R&B Bass. That was the first one to push it. R&B Bass. Also Dat Piff. Nah, but Dat Piff was when I dropped my full project. But the first platform kind of like to post my stuff, that was R&B Bass on SoundCloud. I remember.
So this is 2016, right? Just to put things into perspective.
Yeah, 2016.
Just to put things into perspective for people, and the Late Night Drive project, I think the title track has like over 35 million streams.
Yeah, Drake's on Spotify.
Yeah. So and was this project was independent and all organic, or did you do something to help promote? Like, what did you do to?
I mean, we did a promo campaigns. Like we knew people that had pages back in the day, like meme pages, all that stuff. Like we would just get them to put the content on there. We got a few dancers to dance to the track. Some of their videos went crazy as well. We was using the same ways they use it now. It's just on steroids now, But back in the day, it was the same. You had to find those people that are going to help you connect with the rest of, the world. So, yeah, we was doing that. Twitter content where it was like same thing. Channels that got memes and funny stuff going on. And boom, they post your stuff. It helps a lot. And then I got, blessed enough to be on a lot of playlists too, because Spotify, they just love the music.
Yeah. Dope. And at this time, were you living in the States, or were you living still in France?
Yeah, I'm in Miami right now. I'm based in Miami, yeah. But my family's still back in France.
But when did you move to the States? What year did you move to the States?
I mean, like now I'm really like based here. I've been going back and forth for like 7-8 years now, I would go, stay here for a couple of months just to deliver, like lock in with my team, because my whole team is here. Lock in with my team and then go back to France. Because I don't really want to bring my people here yet, I feel like it's a step-by-step mission.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like it's for you? Is it important for you to be based here, or could you do the same thing anywhere, in your opinion?
Nah, I have to be here. Cause man, every day when I go out, I could meet someone that could change the whole process. Yeah. I could go to this event. There's actually London on the track tonight that's got an event in Miami. I'm gonna go there, network, because as an R&B artist, that's the key. Your community and networking. Like, who do you know that can, push some buttons? So, yeah, you got to be in the States for that, because in France, you're going to meet some people that are plugged for the country or for that demographic, whether it's Europe, kind of like in Africa as well. But in the States, that's a whole different market. Yeah. So you've got to be around the culture.
Yeah. Do you feel your background is an advantage for you in the States, or do you feel like it's a disadvantage?
It sure is, man. First of all, it keeps me very grounded, because American culture is amazing, though, but it's a lot of things that are different from what we do. The distractions that they have here, we don't have that over there. You know what I'm saying? Which,
like what? Give the people some examples of the distractions.
The whole thing. I mean, now France and Europe is catching up, but like America, and when we talk about like just being outside, when they say I'm outside, yeah, in the States you outside for real. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's way different, man. I be tired sometimes. I'm like, damn. Yeah. But yeah, that part, the way people like here, people are very straightforward. It's a good thing, where it's like you have to be like that. So I kind of had to adapt. I used to be the introvert, don't really
Hmm.
talk a lot and all that until I realized, like, I locked in, I connected with some of the people that are big on, social media and all that. One of my good friends is Ty Lue. He's cool with, Kai Cenat and stuff. He got that, the Ty Lue dance. He's killing
Okay.
it right now, man. Shout out Ty Lue as well. But he told me, like, bro, you actually talented. Like, why you being an introvert and all that? You doing all that? Like, you actually have a talent. We out here boosted. You ain't gotta show people like, okay, boom, you get in the room, oh, my name, your Trane, da, da, da. You show them that confidence, then you be like, okay, this is my shit. You know they gonna love it, you know?
Yeah.
So once he said that, like, that stuck with me, and I was like, yeah, you gotta adapt, man, because Americans, man, one thing about them, they gonna show up with confidence, you know,
Yeah.
because the competition is so crazy. So it's
Yeah.
like, man, you can't be the nobody's little bro.
Yeah.
You
Nah,
know?
you definitely have to have confidence. Now you say you would come over here and kind of meet with the team. What does your team look like? What is it? Who's it consist of?
So I got business partners, I got assistants, I got people that help me with marketing, and then
Mhm.
yeah, people now lately I've been starting to work with people that can kind of like help me write stuff because I got so many songs. But the
Mhm.
way I record is like I do top lines. I don't know if you heard of top lines, where it's like I
Mhm.
just punch in, then I structure my whole song
Mhm.
as a top line, and then I start writing. So I got so many demos where it's like, man, I can't write all that. So I started hiring songwriters as well. But yeah, it's that, they're all in the States. And then
Dope.
I got, because my producers, the music comes from all over the world. My producers, I got producers in Croatia, South Korea, Africa, Europe, all over. Because I don't want the music to sound too, like
Right.
whatever's going on here.
I think that's an advantage for you too, just having that worldly perspective. Because I think now music, with streaming, everything's so global. With Afro beats and all these other pockets kind of taking off, and you having kind of an authentic attachment to some of these sounds, and then you have
Mhm.
resources to producers and songwriters to create a more worldly sound as opposed to something that is very specific to a particular pace.
True. And I feel like it's part of the blessing,
Yeah.
that I have, because whatever I have going on now, I don't feel like it exists. Nobody did that. This little kid came from Africa, then he grew up in France somehow. He made it happen in the States. So I feel like I gotta embrace it. It's part of me. That's why I've been working on this Afro R&B project, just to show them, like, some of the roots. I fell
Mhm.
in love with music, with American music, but I grew up on, Afro vibes and all that as well. So yeah, no, it's definitely a blessing.
So I think, yeah, I think your story is amazing. And, you know, I think that it needs to be told more. Obviously the music is good, but I think when
Mhm.
people understand the background and the story behind it, I think that makes the music hit even harder for the people that listen to it.
That's true.
So, I think so what does the next year look like for you in terms of like the releases and kind of what you're working on?
So my Afro R&B project is almost done now. I want to go on tour. It's gonna drop. We still don't have a date, but I want to drop it soon, like early next year. Then I want to go on tour sometime around like March or something like that. And then just keep going from there, because you never know what's going to happen. Like, and especially knowing me, I've been networking so much. I don't know what's going to happen by then, but that's
Hmm.
kind of like what I have in mind. And I've
Hmm.
been wanting to drop another solid R&B project, because I dropped one, which was Ecstasy. It's called Ecstasy. I dropped it in June. But I dropped the Afro House project around the same time. So for some reason, the Afro House project picked up a little bit more. So I might drop another Afro House project too. But I want to work on a real R&B, like a love R&B project. Because Ecstasy was more some. I was depressed actually. It has a whole story behind it.
Mhm.
So I wrote it when I was like really down bad, where I was outside for real. So I wanna get back to making, like my essence, the type of music that I make is love songs, So I wanna
Mhm.
make like a solid love R&B project maybe sometime next year.
Dope. Yeah, the song that I just played about an hour ago that I really loved was, I think it's called Magnetic.
Yeah, magnetic shit.
And what really took it over the top for me is at the end you had the Boys to Men sample, the
Yeah.
four scenes of the loneliness. That's my favorite group. But I love how you flipped that at the end. I thought that was super dope, man. I really just think that your superpower is just like the fusion of like everything that has influenced you. Almost, you just kind of
Yeah.
it like fuse a lot of things together to make it come out like really dope. Obviously that's part of your history, but is that fusion it's all intentional?
Yeah, it is. It is because I just don't, I'm such a music addict. So
Mm,
if people really knew like all the songs and that I've listened to in my life, man, there's some stuff that have nothing to do with my culture. And that's why I
mm,
was always kind of like the black sheep or whatever. 'Cause, man,
mhm,
why this nigga listen to jazz when we out here in
mm.
the trenches flipping work or whatever? And he's out here, nah, he different. So yeah, I just love anything that sounds good. I love it. I listen
Yeah,
to trip hop. I don't know if you heard of Massive Attack.
I haven't.
Massive, yeah, like that's a huge UK group. I listen to them, Cigarettes After Sex. Man, I could even listen to Taylor Swift. Like, man, anything that sounds dope, I'm trying to grab inspiration from it.
Mm.
But it took some time. I had to like get the foundation where it's like, okay, as an artist, who am I? And now that you kind of got that, then you can start grabbing a lot of different elements.
Yeah. In France, how is being different perceived? Like, is it a pro? Do they just kind of make jokes? Do they bully? Like, how is it perceived? Like, if you're a little different, what's it like?
No, I mean, I was not the kid to like. I was not the type of kid that could get bullied. I mean, I was a fat kid, man. I actually lost a lot of weight growing up, but yeah, you can get bullied though. Back in the day, like the anyone that's like doing skate and stuff like that, like they would get bullied. That's why
Okay.
back when Lil Wayne was doing that, it was famous in the States. But in
Uh-huh.
France, it was like, man, what's Lil Wayne doing? Everybody was mad at it, this whole skate era and all that. But now it's cool because of social media. Everybody's connected, man. That's what's so good now. It's like there's
Mhm.
no more cliche or stereotypes like that because everybody got access to that. You probably know someone that does skate, and that's your best friend. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there's things are starting to become much more accepted. Like anime is becoming cool. Like all like the nerd,
Yeah.
what considered like your classic nerdy stuff is now kind of cool. We have even at DreamCon, there's a big convention where like anime and all that stuff is celebrated, and there's a lot of black folks that go for DreamCon.
A lot of us love it, but we just couldn't come out with it like, yeah, I'm that type of, I'm a geek. And I've been a geek.
So what? I'm gonna ask two questions. So what do you love about like this era of music making?
This era, I just love the freedom. They
Mm,
just do whatever. Man, you could hear
mhm,
some song, man, it doesn't even have lyrics on it. It's
mhm.
just sound whatever, I just love that anyone can just come with anything creative and do their thing. Back in the
Mhm,
day, there was a lot of gatekeepers. You gotta be like this artist and this and that. Right now, we're signing these type of artists, so that's what you have to be in order to get a deal,
mhm,
whatever. But yeah, I love the freedom and you can just do it. You can just make things happen yourself. You don't need no middleman. You don't need to sign to a label. You just gotta put in work. So
yeah.
it's really up to you and yourself. Yeah.
Uh, so on the flip side of that, what's frustrating about this era of making music to you?
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's a gift and a curse because you're gonna hear a lot of great stuff, but a lot of whack stuff, man.
Yeah.
you know. But a lot of WAP stuff, they get promoted like crazy because they're so good at doing, content and all that, and they doing funny stuff, whatever, and people would like it. But yeah, it's definitely not helping push, the quality of music.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dope artists, man. I love, Frank Ocean, Brent Fayez. Like these are the kind of artists I don't think that they would have came out with that type of sound in the 90s,
Yeah.
because you
They-
can tell they grabbed a little rock here, a little rap there, and they put it together.
yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. A lot of artists that do well today wouldn't have been given a shot at all. So you're
Nah.
you're right about that for sure.
That's why I feel like, me, I got that confidence and I feel like I'm the GOAT because, man, you can check my catalog. I got all types of R&B, 90s, I would have made it. In the 2000s, I would have made it.
So,
Yeah.
so for you, and we've talked about a lot of things, but answer this directly. Like, so how do you plan to continue to cut through the clutter?
I mean, like, what do you mean by that?
So obviously, there's a lot of people making music. How do you plan to continue to? I mean, I know you already have a fan base, you have some traction, so you're a step ahead. But things can change in an instant. Things get more difficult. Algorithms change. Whatever. How do you plan? How do you plan to stay ahead of the curve?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm a student, so I keep studying, man, every day. Like, oh, what's the new wave? Right now, it's this platform, this platform. I gotta stay in touch with that. Dropping music for sure, consistently. I need nonstop music. That's the number one key. Content, you need nonstop content. You got to be able to drop content all the time. Every day, there could be someone new that discover your stuff. So, yeah, as long as I keep dropping content, music, and now I'm finally able to go on tour, because I just recently got my visa. So, with that, yeah, that should be enough because then it's just about outworking everybody.
No. Are you still doing covers?
Actually, that's funny you say that, man, because I haven't been like recording any of them. But last night I heard "That's the Heart of a Woman" by Summer Walker, and I heard that there's a trend or something going on where people are doing covers, and I recorded something to it. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't think you should ever stop. I mean, it's such a if you
I
just
agree.
if you got a particular way that you're doing covers that's working, is resonating, as soon as another hot song comes out, you should give your version of that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I definitely got to do that more. It's just that, like, there's so many different ways and genres of music that I want to get into, man. Recently, like last year, I discovered house, Afro house, tech house, and all of that in Miami. And I fell in love with it. Now I listen to a lot of it. I'm trying to have my own project. And then, I don't know, maybe next year I'm going to discover some rock stuff that I never heard of that's going to inspire me. So that's why I always want to keep creating. But yeah, it's cool to maybe like do a cover, like your own version of it. That's a nice way to do it, where it's like you actually create too. I gotta keep creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, because Will Gittins, he not only used covers to grow his audience, but he releases these covers. Like you can, especially through,
Yeah.
like you can.
Snow Allegra, she's got a big cover of a Bobby Caldwell song. I can't remember. That was "What You Want to Do." What you want to do?
Yeah.
Do beloved. Yeah.
Some people don't know that you can monetize covers. I mean, all you need is a cover song license, and if you got like a little cover a project that's dope and it's just flipped in a different way that people love. I mean, it's kind of, like I said, a cheat code. I can't say it too many times.
Facts, like, you about to get me back on it, man. I'm about to drop a whole cover practice.
I feel like you, especially with like your international flair. Like I feel like you'll bring something different to every song. You know what I mean? Like it's easy work. Like it's already written. You just gotta.
Oh God.
It's a no brainer. But anyway, man, what advice would you have for cats watching this interview? That want to get into R&B, maybe are internationally based. What kind of advice would you share with folks at this point?
Well, the first thing is, man, stay creative. Never kind of like get complacent where it's like, oh, I got it now. I got the sound. Nah, man, I keep telling people create, create, create. Because you don't know. This vibe could be the one vibe that people now connect with. You thought you had that R&B vibe going on, but now maybe the Afro or whatever is going to unlock some new, you know, fans and all that. So definitely just get inspired, stay positive, you know, because there's ups and downs. I used to not, you know, I used to not embrace and be happy with my blessings, a lot of them, where it was like, no, it's not enough because I'm looking at the Weeknd, Drake, you know, and I'm like, yo, how do I only got 200 million streams? I'm supposed to have 1 billion. Nah, embrace every blessing. Any person that listens to you, that's a win. So that, you know, aim high, but also acknowledge, you know, the results and the progress, you know. So that definitely build a team, you know, have the right team is a very important, and then network, man. You got to know as many people as possible that are going to help spread, you know, your message, your music. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think those are all great things for sure. Well, man, I definitely appreciated the conversation. You know, I'm working on an R&B compilation. I'm working on an R&B compilation project here at Two Lost. We might need to get you on that thing if you got an extra song.
Sure.
Got a song that
Yeah, we sure.
We'll talk about it after when we wrap this up, man. But this has been another great conversation, another episode of Independent Living. My guy Yo Trane. I'm gonna stay tapped in.
Appreciate you, man.
The cat is talented, so make sure you check him out on Spotify or wherever you listen to music. You're gonna be highly impressed with the sounds. But until next time, y'all. Catch you next time on an Independent Living. Peace.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me.